Hey Brandon, it's me Zach again, and we're doing another one of these videos for you so you can learn to play against all the different decks that you can expect in the current metagame. And if you don't know what metagame means, it basically means all the different decks that you could see played at your local league challenges, league cups, or any regional championships that you're able to go to. So in this video today, we're going to be going over Beheeyem, and in the last video that I created for you, we went over the deck profile for Beheeyem. So it's a deck that I know that you've been frustrated against when you've been playing it on PTCGO, and sometimes you would concede against the deck. So my goal here is to show you the best way that we can come the closest to winning. I don't necessarily think it's a great matchup, but I think we have a pretty good shot at winning at it if we give it a good try. So there are some pesky Pokemon with Beheeyem stopping you from playing your item cards. We have Alolan Ninetales that can stop your GX from attacking, and we also have Goomy that can stop you from having the necessary energies to attack. So it's definitely one of those things where you might not face this deck, but it is definitely one of those decks that you could face, or similar deck that you could face at a tournament. So if you do find yourself playing against one, be sure to review this video. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me as always. So without wasting too much time here, let's jump into another video and jump right into the matchup. So we'll try your exact deck list, even if the arts are a little bit different on the cards. This is exactly your deck list at the end of the day. So let's see how it goes. And we're going to be playing against the Rare Candy account, so really great players on there. And they have a very standard Beheeyem deck that is probably going to be the one that you're going to face if you face against any of them. So let's just jump right into there. And we want to call the flip. I'm just going to call tails. It doesn't matter what you end up calling. And of course, we would love to go first. It's always better for our deck to go first. Okay, so we have our choice between starting with Dedenne or Zorora. Let's start with Zorora here. Okay. And we don't want to put Dedenne down on our bench. So let's see exactly what our opponent does here. So our goal in this matchup is to knock out Elgyms with our PikaRom. And then we want to make sure that we have enough power to knock out Alolan Ninetales with our Zapdos in the deck. So that's our game plan right there. Let's see if we can make it happen. First things first, we're going to be discarding a Lightning Energy to get energies in our discard pile for Tapu Koko Prism Star. And I think we're able to discard a Dedenne. So let's discard that and double check through what we have here. So we're going to grab a PikaRom. And let's double check what else we have here. We don't really need Raichu and Alolan Raichu GX in this matchup because they don't necessarily have a lot of HP. We might end up attacking with it, but the chances are very unlikely. We probably just want to attack with double PikaRom because Tag Bolt GX can be very good against their deck. So let's grab both of those, and we probably should have checked through our prize, see if there's anything in our prize cards. But that's okay. We're going to put both of those down, play Cynthia, and see if we can get a Lightning Energy here. So we did get a Lightning Energy. We did get a Tapu Koko. Let's go Lightning Energy onto Pikachu Zekrom. Let's go Jirachi there. Let's put an Escape Ward on it. And let's put a Tapu Koko Prism Star down. So here we could just pass our turn away. I probably could have attached a Lightning Energy to Zorora to start using Jirachi, but I'm okay with this turn. Maybe we'll top deck something out of it. So I'm going to pass and see what our opponent does here. Their goal is probably going to be using Professor Elm's Lecture to search out some of their Pokemon that have 60 HP or less. So there's a Beheeyem going back from their hands into their deck. So maybe they don't have a Professor Elm's lecture. Okay, there's a Ditto. And Ditto can evolve into any of their Pokemon, whether it's a Beheeyem, a Pidgeotto, or an Alolan Ninetales. We can't attack Alolan Ninetales with our GX Pokemon. If you do find yourself running into a lot of these Pokemon with abilities that prevent you from attacking, you might want to consider switching your Lysander Labs into Power Plants that will block those abilities. Now, Power Plant is one of those cards that wouldn't be beneficial in this matchup, but if you run into other things like Keldeo GX, that would be a thing to get past that matchup. So Quagsire, Naganadel decks. And that's another video that I've created as well, because it's a very popular deck. So looks like our opponent has a bunch of different Pokemon down. And we'll see what we top deck. So we top decked a Raichu and a Alolan Raichu. That's fine. We're going to attach to Zorora, get free retreat into our Jirachi, and we'll see what Stellar Wish brings us. Now, we did get a Thunder Mountain Prism Star, but we don't want to be using it. We want to be using Electromagnetic Radar, so we have a higher chance at getting the cards that we need. It's still possible for us to attack this turn. So let's go Electromagnetic Radar, discarding those two. We're going to grab a Dedenne, and we're going to grab another card that we don't need to discard out of the deck, because if you take more cards out of your deck than necessary, then you have a higher chance of drawing the cards that you want. So let's go Dedenne GX here. They have no Power Plant in play. Always remember to double check that. And we're going to discard and draw 6 cards for our turn. So we did not get away out of the active position, but we can go for a Volkner. Volkner will allow us to grab a Lightning Energy. And we probably just want to grab an Energy Switch here. So that will allow us to get fully powered up. So we got Energy Switch, Lightning Energy, awesome. We can attach the Lightning Energy. So let's go Energy Switch here from Zorora to Pikachu Zekrom. And we can't, there's really no reason to be playing another item. Beheeyem will stop us from playing items though, so it's something we should consider. Maybe just putting this escape board down on something like Dedenne could be really good. So we're going to go ahead and do that in case our opponent decides to bring it up, or if we need to retreat something else other than the Jirachi. So that being said, let's just pass our turn. Okay, so it looks like they're getting set up. They have the triple acceleration energy. They're going to be doing 90 damage to our active, and they're going to be shuffling it back into the deck. Their goal is to likely get in Alolan Ninetales this turn. They got a Pidgeotto there. Pidgeotto will allow them to draw cards each turn. There's their Alolan Ninetales that they're likely going to send up. And we can't attack the Alolan Ninetales at all. So this is where the matchup becomes very difficult if they get set up. Because if you read this, Luminous Barrier prevents all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon by your opponent's GX and EX Pokemon. All of these are GX Pokemon. We can attack with Tapu Koko Prism Star though, so that is an option. Let's go for A Lysander Labs. Let's go a lightning energy there. So our opponent cannot retreat if they get a U-turn board or if they get an escape board if they play it. Let's go full blitz. Even though it doesn't do any damage to the Ninetales, we could power up our Tapu Koko Prism Star. Tapu Koko Prism Star can attack sometimes. So we'll see exactly what our opponent does. They do play a handful of stadiums between Shrine of Punishment and Blizzard Town. So they do have ways to bump away off our Lysander Labs. It's possible, though, that Alolan Ninetales is going to stay stuck in the active position. So we'll see exactly what our opponent gets off Acrobike. They got another Beheeyem. There's a Mysterious Treasure. They're probably going to get another Beheeyem or another Elgyem. Okay, there's another Elgyem for them. Maybe they'll play a Stadium. Maybe they'll play a Supporter. There's a Supporter. Okay, cool. So it looks like our opponent here is trying to find a Stadium or a U-turn board to be able to retreat. If they aren't able to use Beheeyem's Mysterious Noise attack this turn, then we are able to play our item cards. And they're just going to continuously run through cards in their deck. There's a Beheeyem again. Okay, so they didn't get anything. So our Lysander Labs worked great. So we want to keep on having that Lysander Labs so they don't have options to do much. So here, since we only have a couple options, let's go Cynthia. Shuffle some cards back. We can start powering up this Pikachu PikaRom GX with a lightning energy. We could retreat into Tapu Koko, which can attack, and let's put a Jirachi, or actually, yeah, let's put a Jirachi down on our bench. So here we can go Mach Bolt, 120 damage, that will get the knockout, and it goes through Luminous Barrier. So even though you only have one Zapdos, if you run against one of these decks, Tapu Koko Prism Star can attack. And our opponent should have no way to knock out Tapu Koko Prism Star at all. So they're probably going to hit us for 90 damage. After going through their Pidgeotto's Airmail ability, they have the U-turn board. There's another U-turn board. All these cards that they wish that they could have played last turn. And they're still not able to use them because of Lysander Labs. Okay, there's some more cards that they could play down. There's another Pidgeotto. And we just want to save our Tapu Koko Prism Star to attack with. That's going to be the Pokemon that knocks out the Alolan Ninetales. Okay. So they're continuously getting set up here. There's another Beheeyem going down. And then they're going to use Mysterious Noise. So no trainers for us again. Or sorry, no items for us again. There is a difference there. We could still play our supporters and our stadiums. So there's a lightning energy that we could put onto this Pikachu PikaRom. Let's go Cynthia here. We have free retreat as always. And let's go for full blitz. Since they've already discarded a Gumi, we only need to attach 1 energy to our active Pokemon. So after next turn, we should be able to knock out 2 Pokemon. So our opponent's goal should be to get down 2 Elgyums because they do shuffle away Beheeyem after every single turn. And they have to hit our Pikachu Zekrom 3 times in order to knock it out. So this is where our big HP works out in this matchup. So we'll see exactly how our opponent's turn goes. They still need to find a triple acceleration energy in order to attack. Their deck only plays 4 of them, whereas our deck plays 11 energies. So they did get the triple acceleration energy. And there's a Blizzard Town. So Pokemon with 40 HP remaining can't attack. So this Tapu Koko right now cannot attack. It's something to take note of. So depending on which Pokemon they send up, I'm assuming they're probably going to send up a Pidgeotto because we are able to use Tag Bolt and knock out both of their Pokemon. If they send up an Elgyem, we'll knock out Elgyem and we'll knock out Beheeyem. If they send up a Alolan Vulpix, we don't need to worry about being able to attack at all. So there's the Pidgeotto. So here, in order to shut our opponent off, we do need to watch out for what they can do. So they've already played their Blizzard Town. This deck does not play Lusamine or any way to get back that stadium. They do have 1 Shrine of Punishment left after that. So let's go Lysander Labs, blocking what they can do. So this Tapu Koko's able to attack for the rest of the game. And let's go Tag Bolt GX and knock out their Beheeyem on the bench. So we're down to 2 prize cards left here. It's looking pretty great for us. There's a Cynthia, so that's a card we can play even if they use Mysterious Noise. And there's an Electromagnetic Radar. So they're going to send up the Elgyem, and hopefully they're able to use Mysterious Noise. So there's a U-turn board, which doesn't matter because we have Lysander Labs in play. And they're going to copycat our hands, which copies a card for each card we have in their hand. So they're drawing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards. That's a lot of cards to be drawing. And this is where the matchup gets tricky because they're going to play a reset stamp, so we only draw 2 cards. But we did get a custom catcher, and we did get an electromagnetic radar. But I'm pretty sure they're going to be using full blitz, or they're going to be attacking us with Mysterious Noise, but we can get the knockout with full blitz. We should be able to win this game pretty comfortably. No matter what. There's another Acrobike, because no matter what Pokemon they send up, we can knock it out with full blitz. And they still have 5 prize cards left. There's a Shrine of Punishment, so they can start doing extra damage to all of our GX Pokemon. So if you're playing against this, make sure your opponent's putting the correct amount of damage on for Shrine of Punishment in real life. On PTCGO, it already goes through everything. So here, we just power up our Pokemon. We go with full blitz. That gets a knockout. We're going to attach our 1 lightning energy over to, let's go PikaRom. drawing a prize card. We can't play any of those cards because of Mysterious Noise, and then our opponent's just going to go 10s with their Shrine of Punishment, and basically this game should just be our opponent using Mysterious Noise to knock out our PikaRom, and then we send up Tapu Koko Prism Star and knock out with Mach Bolt. They shouldn't have any other Pokemon that they could send up, so we should just be able to win the game. So that's how this matchup works out. It's not that bad. We got a pretty great setup, but remember, Tapu Koko Prism Star can knock out Alolan Ninetales, and you only want to be using it to knock out Alolan Ninetales, unless of course it's for your last prize card, like we are right here. So our opponent's going to use Mysterious Noise. That's awesome. Our opponent gets down to 2 prize cards remaining, and they came pretty close to beating us. But we just send up Tapu Koko Prism Star. And the Shrine of Punishment damage is going to damage our Pokemon. And we could even knock out their Shrine of Punishment. Even if they had a Gumi, we had a Thunder Mountain Prism Star that we top decked. There's Mach Bolt. Even for weakness, 240 damage to finish that game off. So that's an ideal strategy against the deck, because we were able to beat them with all the techs that they had against to beat our deck. If we played that matchup out in a different order, we would have not been able to win. We would have lost that game. So I know that when you play against this deck, it can be quite frustrating because Mysterious Noise stops you from playing items, but our item cards didn't matter in the game. So we'll play this as if it's a major event, whether you're playing at a League Challenge or League Cup or a regional championships. If you're playing in any kind of best of 3 format, the person who lost the game gets to choose who's going first the next game. So I'm assuming our opponent's going to go first this time. That might be better for them. So we'll see exactly if that works out. Let's jump into another one. And let's shoot over Rare Candy TCG another challenge. So there's the challenge. Let's see what's up. And we'll just call whatever, it doesn't matter. We won the coin flip, but like I said, we're going to let our opponent go first. And as I've said in previous videos, Jirachi is our best start against most decks. So we got our Jirachi right there. That's awesome. Let's go Pikachu Zekrom on our bench. That's our best attacker in this matchup. And we can't play any more Pokemon down. So we'll see what our opponent does. And like I said, their goal is going to be to play Professor Elm's Lecture on the first turn. They started with a Ditto there. Let's see if they got a good start or not. Awesome, Professor Elm's Lecture, so it should be a pretty good game. They're probably going to go for like Elgyem, Pidgey, or maybe Elgyem, Alolan Vulpix. They have a lot of options on what they can choose. Perfect. So Elgyem, Alolan Vulpix, because they want to use Alolan Vulpix to stop us from attacking. But before we use our Tapu Koko Prism Star's Dance of the Ancient ability, we do want to attack with it in this matchup because it does knock out an Alolan Ninetales. So it looks like our opponent has a decent setup here. Okay, and it is totally our turn. So let's see what Electromagnetic Radar brings for us. Now, since we don't want to be using Tapu Koko to power up to have energies in the discard pile, we actually don't want to be having all those energies in our discard pile. We want to have them on our Pokemon. So let's grab a Zorora. That's pretty great. And we have our Pokemon that we want to be searching for. So let's grab a Zorora. Let's grab another Pikachu Zekrom GX. Zekrom, Zora. Let's attach a lightning energy to our PikaRom. And let's go Cynthia here. It's better to do that first before using Stellar Wish so we have more options. Let's go Pokemon Communication for Jirachi. And grabbing our Tapu Koko Prism Star. That's the first Pokemon we want to power up with full Blitz. Let's go Stellar Wish here. And let's go for pass. There's nothing else we really want to be using with this turn. Our opponent's likely going to get the knockout on us. And if they don't get the knockout with Mysterious Noise, then we will be able to use Stellar Wish and play the switch that we have in our hands. Since we only have 5 cards in our hands and 6 prize cards remaining, even though we grabbed a Thunder Mountain Prism Star, our opponent will not be playing Reset Stamp against us because they don't want us to draw more cards. So let's go ahead and pass, and remember to flip for Jirachi's Asleep. So there's a Pidgeotto, there's the Beheeyem, there's an Alola Ninetales. This is a great setup for our opponent. And there's a Tantalize. I'm assuming they're probably going to shuffle their hand away, draw 5 cards, like they're doing right now. And there's a U-turn board. So it looks like they're just going to go straight for the knockout with Mysterious Noise after using Airmail and shuffling that Beheeyem away right into the Alola Ninetales. And even though there's resistance on Jirachi, they still knock it out. There's PikaRom. There's another Jirachi in case we need it. Mountain. And let's go for a full Blitz. Even though it doesn't do damage, let's power up this Tapu Koko Prism Star. So that's our strategy. It's really weird to be using Tapu Koko Prism Star to attack, because normally it's good to help us attack quicker, but that's how it works out in this matchup. So our opponent has the free retreat with the U-turn board. Since we don't have a Lysander Labs in play, that's fine. We attacked on the second turn of the game. And our opponent's likely just going to play a supporter here, draw some cards. Probably trying to get some other cards set up, like another Alola Ninetales. There's a Thunder Mountain that's going to stop us from attacking. There's an Airmail. And I shouldn't say stop us from attacking. It's only if we have 40 HP or less. So there's a Pidgey. There's a Mysterious Treasure. Our opponent needs to get Elgyms here. Oh, looks like they're going to change their plan up and attack with a Goomy. Not attack with a Goomy. They'll maybe bring out Goomy. We'll see exactly what our opponent has in their hands. We only need a Lightning Energy to be able to knock out that Goomy anyways, so it's not that bad. And they're going to go for Mysterious Noise. There's 90 damage there. And who are they sending up? Goomy. So we have the Lightning Energy. We can attack with Tapu Koko. So let's go ahead and attack with Tapu Koko. We do need an extra energy to attack because of Gumi's sticky membrane. And let's use Mach Bolt for 120 damage. We'll see what we draw out of our prize cards. And we got a tag switch, so it's a card that we can't play, but that's fine. We'll see if our opponent's able to get a mysterious noise out this turn. Maybe they won't be able to. So with Elm's Lecture, I'm pretty sure our opponent's going to be grabbing a Gumi, or a Pidgeotto, or a couple Elgyms. Elgyem, Pidgeotto, Ditto. That makes a lot of sense here. Okay. And maybe they don't have the triple acceleration energy in their hands. Looks like they're trying to get a card out of their deck before they use Airmail. Kind of one of the strategies that I've been telling you. When you want to have a higher chance at drawing the cards that you want, there's another Pokegear. So if they don't get the attack off, we could be in a great position here. I think they still have one more Airmail, if I remember correctly. And based off their decision, the way that it's taking a long time for them to choose for Airmail, I don't necessarily think they got the attack. If they don't attack, they're probably just going to leave the active Pokemon like that. So now we have options to use Volkner, which can get us a Lightning Energy. And I like our option of grabbing an Energy Switch. Actually, let's grab an Escape Board, because we can use our items this turn. So let's go Lightning Energy, Escape Board. That's cool. We can always switch into Jirachi here. See what Stellar Wish brings us. I'm going to grab an Electromagnetic Radar. We haven't retreated yet. We have Lightning Energy there. And since none of these cards matter to us, we might as well go Electro Power and Tag Switch. So similar to what I was saying, let's go Dedenne, and grabbing an extra card out of our deck that we won't need, let's grab a Raichu and Alolan Raichu, and we're going to discard it based off of Dede Change. We'll play an Electro Power since that makes the most sense. And before retreating, we're going to use Dedenne's Dede Change to draw some cards. Cool, we can play down another Escape Board down on one of our Pokemon. So let's go right there. We've already attached for our turn. There's no point of playing Electro Power. Let's retreat into Tapu Koko and use Mach Bolt. So Tapu Koko getting 2 knockouts in this matchup so far. And drawing another prize card for us, a Dedenne. Awesome. Just in case we need to draw some more cards. So I'm assuming our opponent's probably going to send up Beheeyem. Oh, they're going to go with Ditto. Maybe they have another Beheeyem or an Alolan Ninetales. There's an Alolan Ninetales. So this deck only plays 2 Alolan Ninetales, has no way to get them back, and they have the U-turn board right there. So it looks like they're going to try to search again for a triple acceleration energy. Between using Cynthia, between using Airmail, whatever they need. There's a reset stamp, so that seems like a pretty good time. We had a decent bit of cards in our hands. But we did get a Lysander Labs to get around their Blizzard Town, and we did get a Cynthia to get some extra energies. Or try to get some extra energies. So we'll see what our opponent can get off Airmail. Maybe they won't be able to attack again. Oh, there's a triple acceleration energy that they have on their field. Just notice that now. So they are going to be using Mysterious Noise this turn. So hitting the Tapu Koko for 90, that's fine. And since they only play the one Blizzard Town, we don't need to worry about it too much. They're probably going to send up their Goomy here. So we're going to go Lysander Labs because we don't need to worry about that for retreating. We're going to play Cynthia to try to get a Lightning Energy. So we were able to get the Lightning Energy, attach it there, retreat, send up the PikaRom, and since we have 4 energies, we get around Sticky Membrane, and we could go full Blitz. We want to power up our active Pokemon to try to use Tag Bolt GX. There's one card. So we'll see exactly what our opponent does. They have the triple acceleration energy already, so we know that they're going to be able to attack with Mysterious Noise. So again, we won't be able to use our trainer cards, or our item cards, that is. And I'm assuming our opponent's going to be looking to try to bump that Lysander Labs with a Shrine of Punishment, which could be a little bit difficult for us to deal with. So they also have Airmail, which can dig through more cards in their deck. This deck always tries to dig for more cards. Okay, there's Acrobikes. Another Acrobike. Our opponent's really digging here. Another Acrobike. I wonder what they're searching for. Maybe they're searching for another Elgem. There's a Mysterious Noise. And our opponent did not play down a Shrine of Punishment. With this deck not playing any way to get around our Tag Bolt GX, we have 2 options here. We could either go Tag Bolt GX to do nothing to the Ninetales and knock out the Elgem on their bench, or we could attack the Tapu Koko and put ourselves in a 100% win scenario next turn. I 100% want to retreat and go for Mock Bolts. So next turn, since our opponent has no way to knock out our Pikachu Zekrom on the bench, we could use Tag Bolt and draw 2 prize cards to win the game. Okay. So there's a Beheeyem, and you can see all these trainer cards that we basically haven't played all game. And our opponent's just going to go Mysterious Noise because they know that they cannot win this game. So we're going to send out Pikachu Zekrom GX. And we're not only going to win the game on this turn by drawing our last 2 prize cards, we're going to hit another win condition by our opponent having no other Pokemon in play. So we're just going to go right into the Tag Bolt. And let's say if that active Pokemon was a Goomy, we still had access to Volkner. And if we had another Lightning Energy in our deck, which we don't, we could have attached it to that Pokemon. But unfortunately for us, we have all of our other energies in our discard pile. So Tag Bolt GX, knock it on Pidgeotto, 400 to the active because of weakness, and 170 on the bench because of Tag Bolt Snipe. So again, you can see that we use the same strategy in order to beat this matchup. This matchup's not playable. This matchup's very winnable for us. So we'll shoot over Rare Candy, another challenge. and we'll see exactly how it goes. So we'll try to use the same strategy. Hopefully none of our Pokemon are prized, that none of our energies are prized, the cards that we need in this matchup. Okay, so same thing as the other game. We're going to let our opponent go first, regardless of whatever happens. So we lost the coin flip anyways. We're going to let the Beheeyem player go first. And we have no basics in our hand. That's not a big deal. We only need to complete the strategy that we've been doing for the past couple games. And we started with Jirachi, the absolute best start in our deck. Awesome. And let's see what our opponent started with. They started with a Pidgey. So if our opponent doesn't get any other basic Pokemon out in play, or has a bit of a slow start, we can always attack with Zapdos earlier on in the game to start drawing some of these prize cards against their Pokemon that have lower amounts of HP. Since their deck runs off of Professor Elm's engine, and they're searching Pokemon with 60 HP or less, Zapdos doing 80 damage can knock out their Pokemon. So we'll see if that's a possibility for this turn coming up. But realistically, we just want to get set up with our normal strategy. So starting here, we want to go Electromagnetic Radar. We don't need Custom Catcher, and we don't need Reset Stamp, because those are cards we want to play later on in the game. And our opponent is not going to be able... We're not going to be able to play it because of Mysterious Noise. So don't worry. Again, we want to attack with Tapu Koko Prism Star, like we have in the other two games, which we do have in the deck. Do we have Thunder Mountain in the deck? We have Thunder Mountain, both Lysander Labs. We prized 2 of our energies, but that's okay. So let's try to get our strategy started. So let's go Pikachu Zekrom, Zorora. Let's attach a Lightning Energy to Pikachu Zekrom. And let's play Cynthia. It's better to play Cynthia first than go Stellar Wish. Awesome. So we got an Escape Board out for our active. So let's see what Stellar Wish brings us. So we got a Stadium Nav. Perfect. So that means that we could start attacking as early as next turn. We're going to go Stadium Nav here, see if we can get a Heads. We did get a Heads, and there's a Thunder Mountain Prism Star that we're going to keep in our hands. Don't play it down right away because we can't attack this turn. Might as well go Escape Word there. And let's pass our turn. If our opponent doesn't get a knockout, then we can use Stellar Wish again next turn. They're either knocking out our Jirachi, which allows us to bring up our PikaRom, and then we could use Full Blitz, or we can just continue our turn normally. So we'll see if they're able to get a triple acceleration energy and a U-turn board to get the Pidgey out of the active position. So they're going to go Reset Stamp right away to get those cards out of our hands. I really hope they don't get the knockout this turn. There's their Airmail. So we'll see if they got a U-turn board and if they got a triple acceleration energy. There's a Mysterious Treasure. There's another Beheeyem. There's an Acrobike. So they're doing the best they can to thin cards out of their deck. So no Mysterious Noise. So that means we can attack this turn. Sorry about that. Let's go for Pokemon Communication, putting away Jirachi. to grab a Tapu Koko Prism Star. We want to try to get a Thunder Mountain Prism Star this turn, so let's put that down. Let's go Lightning Energy onto PikaRom. Let's go Pokemon Communication. Let's put away this Raichu, Alolan Raichu, and let's get a Dedenne. We're not discarding anything too bad at all here with Cynthia and Lysander Labs, so let's go right ahead, play those. See if we can get the Thunder Mountain Prism Star this turn. And we got it. Awesome. And we still have access to our Volkner, so let's decide to use it. Let's go Volkner. We can grab an Escape Board, and since we already have 2 energies in our hand, we don't want to grab another energy. We want to be able to attach those energies with Pikachu Zekrom's Full Blitz attack. There's no other item card that we need here at all. So let's go Escape Board there. And we're just waiting for the Volkner to complete. I don't know what's going on here. Sometimes PTC Geo acts up, and it looks like we might be losing the connection of this game. No worries at all. It looked like we were going to win this game anyways. So don't feel bad if PTC Geo disconnects like that. This can't happen in real life. So it did disconnect on us for no reason at all. That's okay. We have time to play one more quick game against Beheeyem. We're just going to log back in here. If it wants to log back in. Let's see exactly what's going on here. Let's just restart PTC Geo. Looks like it's just logging back in. And we're just trying to load it up right now. You want to know what? Let's actually cut the video right there. It looks like PTC Geo is having some issues and some downtimes while I'm filming. No worries at all. We did completely go through exactly how you're able to win that matchup, and I wholeheartedly think we would have won that last matchup had PTC Geo not crashed. So we have that going for us in this deck. I know you've played against this matchup a few times, but the key strategy is to make sure that PTC Geo that when you're playing the matchup, you want to make sure that you use your Tapu Koko Prism Star to knock out your opponent's Alolan Ninetales, because that's the Pokemon that stops your deck. That's the only reason why they play that card in the deck, so that your GX Pokemon can attack. Well, Tapu Koko Prism Star is not a GX Pokemon, and neither is your Zapdos. So you do have options there in terms of what you can attack with. So remember, Tapu Koko Prism Star is not just a Pokemon to use Dance of the Ancients to power up your Pokemon. You can totally attack with Mach Bolt and knock out some Pokemon that have lower amounts of HP. So I hope that you enjoyed watching these. And again, if you have any questions at all, feel free to bring it up during our next coaching session. I'd love to discuss this matchup with you. I don't think this deck is too popular for League Cups. I don't think it's too popular for League Challenges or Regionals, but that doesn't mean that you won't see it on PTC Geo or that you won't face against it at a tournaments. It's very possible for your opponent to play any deck at all. So keep that in mind when you decide to play your deck, that you know what your options are against them. So if you want to know more about the Beheeyem, I did film a deck video profile for you in the last video, so be sure to check that out. And Yeah, you'll see exactly what's in that deck, what to expect when you face it. It's against one of the top decks that performed really well day one of the World Championships, Hampus Eriksson's list. The deck did pretty well at League Cups at the beginning, so it's a really standard list, the list that you're most expected to face if you face that deck. So one of the key strategies is to make sure that you know exactly what you're playing against, and the best way to know that is by looking at the decks. So just learning more and more about Pokemon. So in our next video, we'll cover the same thing, another deck profile video on another popular deck, and we'll see exactly what the other matchups are. So if you watch all the different videos, you'll know exactly what to do against all the different decks. So that's it for this video, Brandon. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. And remember, always play test, never give up on your games, and make sure you have a strategy for each available matchup. All right, Brandon. Bye.